Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to some of you and peace out to the rest of you. Okay, you know who it is and what I'm going to ask you to press and why. So I'm going to spare you that. I finally saw A Fall from Grace yesterday. For some of you, it was still earlier today when I saw it. Probably yesterday afternoon for most of you when I saw it. It was nighttime for me, last night for me here. When I saw the trailer, I thought, this is going to be a demonization of black men again. I was pleasantly surprised, actually, that that's not so much what it was. I mean, yeah, the villain was a black man. You can tell that from the trailers. It's got an interesting, very, very interesting plot twist in the end that ties everything together, and then you realize that no, the villain is actually one black man, one black woman. One black man's a jerk, but he ain't no villain, and the other black men are good. There's a good, fair-minded, level-headed husband. There's a public defender in there that's a well-meaning brother. There is another one that's related to the defendant, and he's a good character, but he has very few lines. I tell you what, the actress that plays the female villain, for those of you who have not seen it yet, that was a stretch for me because I could not get over the idea of seeing her play a villain. To find out that she was a villain, I thought, wow, this is crazy because though she is a villain, she can't actually play a villain. I believe this actress is just not able to play a villain. She has to play a good person that you find out is a villain somehow. But it's how do you get somebody used to always playing a good person to play a villain? That was actually very creative on Tyler Perry's part. However, let me explain this. The lesson in the movie is not the lesson that many sisters are talking about. See, we're going to watch that movie, and a lot of sisters and a lot of brothers too are going to say, sisters, don't let no man move in with you. You move in with him. If he ain't got his own place, man, fuck the shuck up. It's America. It's designed for black men to have less all the time. The exceptions are when black men are gay. That's it. Studies have proven this. I'm not buying that. Should a black man have his own? Yeah, if you can get it. Some would say the lesson is, girl, don't trust these younger men, these millennials, and I still would say fuck the shuck up. The real lesson does not have to do with don't trust men or don't trust women for that matter. That's not the lesson that we got to learn. The lesson that we should have all taken away from that movie is that, and I can tell you this lesson without spoiling it, the lesson that we should all take away from this movie is that when a man knows or unknowingly does and says everything that you think is right, it's not magic, it's not a miracle, it's a goddamn con job. Men, as I have always said, don't understand women until we're older, and things are changing for these younger cats. That is so. But even then, they're going to need some time. Even if we tell them the game, they're going to need time to see the proof of it. Men don't understand. They don't start off understanding. It takes them a while. It's not our fault. Ain't nobody for most of us until this generation here came along, and even then women are resisting us telling them. Until this generation came along, no young men were being told the actual nature and what women wanted. That the women were not going to tell you themselves, that the women were going to hide from you. The secrets weren't being told. They were being speculated about. A lot of anxiety for young guys. When a man comes along, younger or older, And well, if a man comes along and he just knows everything about you, you need him to know, or he just unknowingly is everything and says everything and does everything you would want him to do or say, and he's older than you, that just means that, well, he's been around enough to understand you. That's all that is. Ain't nothing special about it. If a man comes along and he's your age or he's younger and he just knowingly or unknowingly does and says and is everything you'd want him to be, that's a con job. That's what that is. It's a con job. There's really nothing else to it. Because men can't just instinctively, knowingly or unknown, well, men can knowingly, if they know what to do, if they understand you, yeah, they can do it. But men cannot just come along and just naturally know and be and do and say everything that women want. Unless, of course, someone sat him down and told him what either women as a whole want or what specific women want. Someone's got to explain the game to men for them to have some game. For men to have the game that you women want them to have, someone's got to explain it to them. Men ain't going to understand it. So either women are going to have to explain it, or they can show it over decades and he figures it out. Or men who know are going to have to tell men who don't know. Now, what's going on right now recently is that you got cats my age and older that are starting to tell these younger dudes what's going on. But even then, mothers oftentimes are trying to resist that. Don't tell my son this. Don't tell my nephew that. Don't tell my grandson. I'm letting y'all know now, goddammit, I'm going to tell them. If I meet them in person, I ain't going to use the internet to target them. But when I meet them in person, I'm spilling the beans. All the stuff that I do know that you don't want men to know, I'm going to tell your son, grandson, nephew, younger brother, all that. Because I'm that ninja. But the real lesson that we should have taken away, we didn't. Neither men nor women. And even Tyler Perry probably did not mean to put that lesson in the movie. But that is the real lesson. What this means is that men who are not like the villain in this movie, and the trailers tell you who the villain is and what he did, they don't tell you all the details. But the point is that when men are not like that, they don't know and understand women in general, and they don't know and understand an individual woman until they get to know her. That's it. See, in the movie, she had a fantasy come to her. She didn't have to really communicate things about herself. She didn't have to tell him anything that he could then use to make her happy. No. He just came along, and that's it. And he was that guy, and that's everything. She was on guard, and he still got in her head and to her heart with her being on guard. Look, the man was hanging out with her late at night specifically to keep her from being alert the next day. He wasn't going to work, and the next day he was sleeping when she had to be at work. That's one of the things I would do if I was a con artist. I would do the same thing. But I can tell you this, that lesson right there, the lesson that women are going to have to communicate things that they are ashamed or afraid or whatever to communicate to men in order for this to work, is not talked about. No one pointed that out, and that's been the mistake of the viewers. Now, there are some women who understand it. There are some women that look at this and they know that's exactly what it is. But even, how come none of them put this in writing? Why is it that none of them has come along and written an article in one of their magazines about this? Say what the hell you want. And Ron Wills has said if you knew what they want, you couldn't handle it. Yeah, maybe so. But even then, that's largely because we've been told the opposite. And who the hell told us that? Who told us that they want the opposite of what they actually want? Who told us that they don't actually want two men? They want one. Who told us that They actually have standards that have to do with your morality and stuff like that. It wasn't, I mean, hint, it wasn't men lying that told us that. The men that told us didn't know any better. So who the hell lied to us? In the end, that's the message. You ain't gonna have no good, healthy relationship in which you don't have to communicate to him things that you want and listen when he tells you the things he wants. Give and take. You ain't gonna be sitting up here doing all the talking in a relationship. That's the first thing. And you damn sure ain't gonna be doing all the talking, and none of it is about what you want and what he can do to woo you, even in the bed. That's not the way that works. I wish to God somebody would have said it. Oh well, I guess I asked for too much. Anyway, I hope that what I've said will one day not be true anymore, but in the meantime, I hope it benefits Black Heart Sign of Blackout. Assalamu alaikum, black male power.